Hi, I'm Maggie Lake, your host for this special UN Global Compact series, Financing a Sustainable Future, CFO Insights. You'll hear from the chief financial officers who are part of a special task force convened by the UN. They are using their platforms and influence to reshape the future of corporate finance and invest to help achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and build a resilient future. This is CFO Insights. Why was it important for you to participate in the CFO Task Force? Why do you think the CFO point of view is so important?
Well, Maggie, I think that, in terms of key responsibilities and key roles that the CFO have, clearly capital allocation is very important, is paramount. So when we think about how we allocate capital, we need to make sure that we are allocating to projects that are in line with sustainability goals for the entire company. And that's not because we want to be good, it's not the point. The point here that's the only way in which we can create long-term value for all our stakeholders. And this is particularly true for our industry, for the industry I operate in, which is the aerospace and defense industry. That is a capital goods sector where you invest today, you allocate capital today, and you see the returns and the effects of these investments over the long term. So you have to have a long-term view and a long-term perspective of sustainable development.
And how have you and your financial team been able to use your platform to advance the sustainability agenda and the company strategy? What does that look like in the real world?
Well, the platform has been an extremely useful incentive to push forth the ESG priorities in finance. In our example, concretely, we signed a 2.4 billion euro revolving credit facility, the first sustainability-linked finance industry for Leonardo, just a couple of months ago. And this is the result of a strong conviction we have in Leonardo, as well as a very important push and drive that the entire CFO Task Force and platform has done in the entire finance industry.
And in terms of investment, there's going to market and utilizing the financial instruments that are available, and then there's an investment side. What does that look like for Leonardo when you're talking about executing on the SDGs?
Well, as a capital goods company, Leonardo invests between 600 and 700 million euros per year. So that is a quite sizable amount of money. 50% of those investments are aligned with SDG goals. So 50% of what we do is to reduce CO2, to improve quality of life, to increase innovation. Just to give you a few examples, we are developing new platforms in the helicopter business. These platforms will be more efficient in terms of fuel emissions, will be safer for the people that fly on them. And remember, safety is a key element within the sustainability framework for a technological company. And the technology that we embed in those products will also push forth the education agenda in the top universities Leonardo partner with in Italy, in the UK, in the US, and in the other countries it operates with, allowing for development of talents in our industry and to the benefit of the broader society.
What are some of the barriers you see in your sector when it comes to sustainable finance?
Well, to be perfectly frank, the aerospace and defense industry in particular is not fully appreciated. At least my belief is that the contribution that aerospace and defense brings to sustainability is not fully appreciated by all stakeholders. And too often there are some preconceptual ideas that prevent people from capturing the true value that our industry brings to sustainability. Let me give you a few examples. So sustainability is clearly about environment. It's about social, and it's about having protecting your people and generating value for your people and let your people live in a safer world. And without safety, it's hard to believe that there can be sustainability. What we do, for example, in helicopters, many of our helicopters are employed in emergency and rescue missions. They are serving as heli ambulances to bring patients as the fastest pace as possible from the place where an accident has occurred to the hospital to be treated. And timing in those instances may be vital. So those functions, as well as the pure defense functions like flying in our skies to protect the countries, are fundamental to guarantee that our quality of life is the one that we have always experienced in this world, and that continues to be so.
What part of this growing ESG market, capital market, do you think holds the greatest potential for helping to accelerate change, or maybe directing capital to where it needs to go?
In my view, what is paramount is for the financial market to assess what is the value proposition that each company brings to the sustainability equation. For some corporation, it is the CO2 reduction, because some corporations may be more polluters, if you allow me. For others, it might be the social element. And for others, it might be the innovation technological element, which also brings as a result CO2 reduction and stronger social impact, positive impact. In this domain, honestly, I think that there is a bit of room to develop, because as of now, the finance industry is a bit more strictly tied to a checklist of key focus areas, and it's less interested in hearing different perspectives that are focused on the individual value proposition that corporations bring. We need to allocate capital in the areas where we think that whoever employs capital can make the best use of it. That is the Pareto optimum. So for some corporation, those areas may be focused on environment, for some others on the social side, and for some others on the technology and innovation to produce safety and security to protect the people in our planet.
How important are partnerships and collaborations as we try to make this pivot and change?
I think they're fundamental, because as I honestly think they're fundamental. As I think about key partnerships to move forward, I think about a three-leg partnerships, which is related to the role of education. One leg are governments, the second legs are corporations, and the third legs are individuals. In this transition, governments can play a fundamental role in setting up regulations and mandate behaviors that adhere to those regulations. Corporations on their side, they have to have a sustainable development plan that is compatible with the regulations that are set up by governments and that is value creating for the broader society. Individuals need to be playing their role. And in this respect, educating, especially the younger generation, on the SDGs. What are these SDGs? Concretely, what do they mean for each individual person, and why we all believe that only by respecting them we'll have a stronger future? They are a key actor on the scene, and by bringing together governments, corporations, and individuals, we can accelerate the pace of change.
Thank you for watching CFO Insights. For more information on the CFO Task Force for the SDGs, you can head over to www.cfotaskforce.org and share your insights on social media using the hashtag CFO Task Force. Don't forget to tag the UN Global Compact @Global Compact. We'll see you again soon.